What's good, everyone, and welcome in to a brand new edition of the World Hoops Podcast here for Monday, July the 12th, 2021. I'm your host, Rouse, coming to you from Chicago, Illinois, getting ready to bring you another presentation here of the World Class Hoops. I brought in a guest today, as today I brought in a student to the game. You got your own tag now, Joseph Gregory. What's good, man? Welcome into the show.
Thank you. Coming up in my experiences at the Illinois Media School, we always learned about the lower third, the lower third, and I see myself in the lower third. How about that? I'm in the lower third.
You in the lower third, you got your social media that you see, Joe Stuff 17, your name is on there, but welcome back into Class Who's cool. Podcast. Exactly. Man, how cool is that, man? You big time, but you was big time. That's why I call you Big Dog.
I'm trying to catch up. Thank you for caught, but you really living that big dog life, so I'm trying to catch up with you. I'm trying to get to that Chris Rouse celebrity status.
Happy belated birthday to you as well, man. But you know why I brought you in here, man.
Oh man!
But first, man, how was your birthday though? How was the birthday weekend, man?
Birthday was terrific. Shout out to my wife and everybody who celebrated it with me. My sister kicked it with me on Friday. Had a few drinks with me. Few of my good guys, one of my good guys rode in from Indiana. Saw him and his wife. So it was a pretty good weekend all around. Can't complain at all.
So glad to hear that, man. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to have you back on the World Class Who's fourth or fifth time I had you on solo. But I brought you in here. As you see, last night, 2021 NBA Finals continued. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Suns 120-100. Suns still lead the series 2-1, but it was big performance from Drew and Giannis Antetokounmpo that led. Let me get your thoughts on the NBA.
Yeah, man. The desperation and the physicality of Milwaukee, especially when they found themselves down by 6 points early in that second quarter. The first quarter was kind of back and forth, but once they found themselves down in that second quarter, I guess the endangered species thing just kicked in, and they just put it on Phoenix from the rest of the quarter after that.
Personally, also in game 3, I thought Milwaukee, man, they played with a lot of energy in the game last night. They got a lot of energy off the bench. Bob Portis, a player who came in, gave him a great effort, 11 points, 8 rebounds, and I just thought Phoenix sort of struggled a little bit defending against Milwaukee's high pick and roll, and coming into the season, that's what will be key. Will be the pick and roll defense. So let me get some of your thoughts on the pick and roll defense last night.
Yeah, it seemed like Milwaukee did a better job of you can almost say they out Phoenix here. What happened last night? They did a great job finding mismatches. So they always had a big on a little. I found Chris Middleton in the post against Cameron Payne. He was going right at him. Sometimes they kept finding Chris Paul, maybe Drew Holiday. Chris Paul really wants to guard Chris Tucker, but he found himself in some screen situations where he had to guard Drew Holiday and guard Chris Middleton, and that's not really his cup of tea. Even though he can guard well in the post, he can only do so much. He plays with a strong base. You ain't gonna really back him down. But as far as when they elevate at 6'8", 6'5", that's when they have that advantage. So I thought they did a good job of getting the matchup that they wanted. Trying to stay off certain defenders, it feel like they really didn't want to match up with Bridges. They don't want to really match up with Crowder, so they was like trying to find other ways to go at. Now, one person they don't mind Jay Crowder guarding is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and every time they can find that matchup and get him some space, you saw Giannis being very, very aggressive. I mean, he's been very aggressive the last 2 games. That's why he's put in 42 and 41 points in them.
Yeah, last I thought Giannis kind of, like you said, they out Phoenix. I totally agree. I thought Milwaukee just went right to the rim, especially Giannis, getting right downhill. Had the early in the ball, but also something else I noticed. Only 2 Ds looked like he was really just sort of held on getting to the rim and attacking the Phoenix. So for game 4, moving forward with Phoenix, who is down Dario Sharp,
Torrey Craig
defending against Giannis.
Yeah, and also Torrey Craig being banged up. He didn't look like he played.
Yeah,
I thought he gutted it out for a few minutes. I think Phoenix is probably really gonna benefit from getting this extra day of rest while they're in Milwaukee because, like you said, Dario Saric is not coming back. Frank Kaminsky, he's got to get up to speed. Probably just got to get used to being a factor again in a series. You sit there for the whole playoffs, and then an injury
yeah.
comes up, and now they're gonna need major minutes from you and a major contribution. So I'll probably look forward to probably seeing a lot more Frank Kaminsky in game 4. I don't know how further they can reach into that bench. You might even see him downsizing a little bit more. Speaking of more, you might see some each one more just because of the bodies.
Yeah.
Torrey Craig really can't go and be that stabilizing defender that he's been alongside. Whenever him and Jay Crowder in the lineup together, I just feel like that's really problematic for Milwaukee because they're big enough to switch, and they still big enough to try to bang with Giannis and put a body on him and keep him off the boards, even though they are undersized still with that matchup. But I feel like that's their best matchup against Giannis.
So, also another thing you mentioned about Phoenix in terms of something else that I think has kind of slid under the radar, as you see on the screen, there, Devin Booker, man. Devin Booker had the good game as far as shooting. What are your thoughts on Devin Booker? Some of the things Phoenix did different that kind of out of his rhythm in Game 3. What did you see out of Milwaukee Bucks?
Well, I thought one thing they did at him was they made him have to defend a lot more. It was some times when he had to defend Giannis and had to bang with Giannis. You already got to chase around Middleton and everything, but he was getting caught in some of those blenders, so to speak, down low in the box with Giannis, where you really don't have a chance against him. So I thought they did a good job making him work a little bit more excessively on the defensive end. Maybe took away his offense a little bit. Definitely paid a lot more attention to him. PJ Tucker, Drew Holiday. It was one possession, I believe, Drew Holiday in that second quarter. I don't know if it was the second or third, where he really was just all in Booker. Stripped him. Booker got the ball back, and he was in the corner and threw up like a wild shot, trying to beat the shot clock. So using different defenders, I think, at different times of the game to try to wear him down and try to go at him at the.
I thought. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm done.
I was just gonna say that was the best game I've seen out of Drew Holiday, and I thought he had been busted the first 2 games of the series, but in Game 3, I thought the first time in this series, saw Milwaukee control the tempo. I thought they played patient basketball in the half court, which is why you saw a lot of the high roll off rate for Giannis. Also, some plays in the first half with Chris Middleton, where Middleton had a ball, Bobby would kind of be the pick and pop guy, either take a mid range jumper or take the step back or take the 20-foot 3-pointer. So I think what they really did in Game 3, they slowed the game down. They played to their tempo. But then when Phoenix tried to outrun them, they were able to control the game in that aspect as well because of the rebound battle. They were able to get 13 offensive rebounds. They owned Phoenix in the hustle points. They did a 2-second chance. It was 17-10 points off turnovers. I think we just played with a lot of energy. I think they really Game 3 in the hustle stats. And now for Game 4 moving forward, where do you get that? Where do you get those added bodies in the front court from with Dario Saric out? Also, Kaminsky kind of getting adjusted to the series, but also we talked about Devin Booker. So for me, I think you're gonna need 20 more out of Devin Booker, man. You're gonna look for a 30-point performance from Devin Booker in Game 4 if Phoenix pulls out. What are your thoughts on Game 4 into that?
I mean, and also you talk about the Phoenix Suns, the 3-point shot has been their ally all the playoffs, because even in games when you see a Devin Booker not perform well, they got a lot of other guys that can shoot that shot. Cameron Johnson was pretty decent off the bench, but they really didn't get anything out of Bridges last night also.
Yeah.
Go with Devin Booker. So they definitely need that outside attack. That's why I brought up a name like a E'Twaun Moore, who's not a big, another guard, but just a veteran, a stabilizer, especially on the road. He's not going to be afraid of the moment. So just trying to see how Monty Williams try to use his bodies, because I expect everybody, especially DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker, who only played 29 minutes and set much of the middle of the third quarter on. He had on his black warm-up suit early. So I expect those guys in particular to come out with a lot of energy on Wednesday. I expect them to play at least 40 minutes plus.
Our game, like you said, at the screen there, bottom of the screen there, game 4 on Wednesday, 8 p.m. and Bucks with 2-1 lead series. But right now you are tuned in to the World Class Hoops podcast. I'm Chris Rouse, Joseph Gregory, a student to the game, Chicago. Joe Morning Show. You can catch him on social media there. Stuff 17. You know what, Joe? Last time I had you on here, man, we do NBA Finals. We talked. I mean, you love that, don't you? You love that. You love that. The graphic, don't you, man? You love the graphic. I saw you smile at the graphic. But last time I had you on here, we talked the NBA head coach hires, and yesterday, the Orlando Magic, they hired Jamahl Mosley, the assistant coach of the Dallas Mavericks, and just want to get your thoughts on that pickup. Jamahl Mosley, Orlando Magic, 4-year deal, takes one Orlando team that is rebuilding, but they got two top 10 picks coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, coming from up under that Rick Carlisle tree, I guess, from up in Dallas. One of the top assistants. You know, I don't know if he was the defensive or the offensive hands-on guy. I just know they had two really rough, two pretty, some grueling playoff battles these last couple of years, fighting with the Clippers and everything. So trying to see how he's going to rub off on this younger talent that's in Orlando. We know Fultz is coming back off injury. You know about Carter. We also know Jonathan Isaac, young talented big man, still coming in. All going to be coming out. Cole Anthony. So they got some pieces there. Like you said, interesting. 2 top 10 picks. So who knows? 2 top 10 picks, maybe a free agent vet or two. And like I say, it's the East. So I think it's all about Jamahl Mosley. Like to me, he got that stigma. He's his first job, but I wonder, is he that players type coach that is gonna go easy on the players? For these first time head coaches, I like to just see how they're gonna really adjust to egos. And I don't think it'd be about their X's and O's, but really how they adjust to different egos. Now it's gonna be a younger squad, so I guess Jamahl Mosley gonna be learning the team as he's also learning to be a coach in the NBA.
That's a good point that you mentioned about learning egos, because we just Indiana with Nate Bjorkgren, first time head coach, and you see he's out there, and they replace him with the man that Jamahl Mosley was on his staff, Rick Cloud.
Right.
I think for Jamahl Mosley, I think this is a great fit for Orlando, because as you see on the screen, Mosley, even if you look him up on the Dallas Mavericks site, he's acknowledged as the defensive coordinator for that Dallas Mavericks. It's an Orlando team that the last 5 years they finished at least top 10 in points per game, including last season where they finished second in points allowed. So they bring in a defensive-minded coach. Say that again.
Yeah, so they've been finding a way to score.
No, they locking teams down. They do that. They keep so they need to find a way to score. And I think that's another endorsement for Jamahl Mosley was that Luka Doncic said he thought that he would like Jamahl Mosley to be the head coach of the Mavericks. Now you bring Mosley in Orlando, defensive mind with a bunch of young-minded offensive guys like Fultz coming off. And you had a pretty good rookie year, and you do have some defensive pieces that they got from Chicago, like a Wendell Carter Jr. And then Orlando also has the benefit of knowing that Otto Porter books. So it's a lot of movement for Orlando moving forward. They get Jamahl Mosley. He's now the 15th head coach here at Orlando Magic. So you got any bold predictions for Jamahl Mosley, or you just don't go let this one go off with a graphic? You don't have to make one. I'm just any thoughts you got on Jamahl Mosley, just let me have it now.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna make a bold prediction.
Now hold on, wait. Now you don't have to.
Bold.
I'm not making you do this.
I'm gonna say this. Magic will have a 9-game improvement.
9-game improvement.
I don't know if that's gonna be good enough to get them to the playoffs. It might be good enough to get them to the playoffs. They have at least a +9 in the wins. Okay. So what's the record this year? Was it 17, 16? How bad was it this year?
For a 17 win. I think they were either 17 or 19. It was something like that. I know they didn't get 20.
All right, they get to 28.
Let me see that. Did they get to 28? I probably 21 and 51. They get to 30.
They get to 30.
Did they get to 30? Okay.
30 wins.
30.
I know you're gonna hold me to this. I don't want you looking at me crazy in April. You know, they got like 20, they like 28 and 56 trying to get them last two. You know what I'm saying? I want to look like I got a reputation to uphold.
I just Stradamus. You called it last week. You said Atlanta should hire Nate McMillan, and then like 30 minutes later they hired Nate McMillan. So
I mean,
so you got it right. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's just some things happened last week that I was just expecting.
All right. Well, on Saturday, Team USA, the men's Olympic. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. And I should be in detention whenever we have a students of the game for me forgetting to put them in a what's in your cup. My God.
All right. Well, hold on. On Saturday, Team USA, the USA men's basketball team, they lost at the hands of Nigeria, 90-87. It was an exhibition loss. Exhibition loss on Saturday at the hands of Nigeria. And they will once again have an exhibition tonight against Australia, 7 p.m. Central Time. Australia is considered one of the powers of national basketball. And another one of those teams is Argentina. Play them the following day. So Team USA, they lost in Nigeria. And I'm going to let you just have it, man. First impressions, bro.
Wow. I mean, it's pretty astounding, you know, as much as they've owned Nigeria over the years, even though they do have a couple of NBA players now, a few NBA players now. I mean, just damn, no. Bill, Lillard, Tatum, Durant, and Bam. You take that starting five in the NBA and think you can win about 60 games, right? If you get the right bench people. You found you some Jay Crowders and some Torrey Craigs and some Marcus Smarts and whatever type of people on the bench, you feel like you can win about 70. 65 at least.
Yeah.
And they lost to Nigeria. Now, like I told you, I was celebrating. But when it happened, it was on my Twitter like, man, news for you. So, who's the coach here? Steve Kerr, Popovich?
Greg Popovich is the head coach.
I mean, man, what's going on here in the camp? I mean, are these players, are they tired from the postseason? Are they healthy? We just saw Kevin Durant play a grueling series against Milwaukee a couple of weeks ago. You know, is James Harden healthy? You know, so what's the problem here? Where's the defense? They got 90 points on us. Like I told you, man, I was worried about them size-wise.
You see the graphic? You see how many threes they made?
23s. So, wow. I mean, like I said, I was worried about the size matchup, but seeing the 23s right there, I'm also worried about perimeter defense. You know, like I said, we got a lot of scores, but we don't really have anybody that you would call lockdown defenders on this team or whatever. So you giving up 23s when they allowed to, and they even get a chance to attempt 42. You know, that's going to be an issue, especially going forward. We're not even expecting Nigeria to be one of the top threats here in the upcoming Olympics. So I'm very interested to see how they come back against Australia. You figure they would be ready to beat Australia by about 120 here because, you know, it's kind of unacceptable.
Will they remember
Nigeria like this?
Remember Australia beat them. Remember Australia them last go around before the World Cups. Remember that? So, and Australia's coming off of a pretty good win against Argentina the other day as well.
So we're looking at.
So will they?
Man, it's looking. Man, like I say, it ain't a good first impression. It wasn't very favorable. You know, to be losing to Nigeria. You know, got Mike Brown looking like Mike Brown out doing his old coach like that, his old boss like that. So, man, they're gonna have to figure this out, man.
Is it just concern? I mean, it's an exhibition loss. I thought it was maybe them trying to gel together. But do you think this is a cause for concern for Team USA going to the Olympics with this loss to Nigeria? I mean, now before you answer that, let me say this. This Nigeria team, as you mentioned, had a lot of NBA players. I mean, Gabe Vince pretty much had Miami, the guy on the bench. Precious had the block on Kevin Durant. Gabe Vincent, who's traveled through the league and also plays for Miami. They had Ike been through the G League. Ike Regbu, who's also been through the G League. A number of guys that have been, who I think is on the Kings now and used to be coached by Greg Popovich. So I think in this game, what happened is it became kind of that NBA type of game where, hey, whoever takes shots and can get on the run can win this game. And I think Team USA, they showed, hey, this kind of come down to who can score the most points type of thing, but who's the closer? And I think that was proven. He kind of turned into the savior near the end of the game. He had like 9 points down the stretch. I thought Bam Adebayo proved he could be an interior threat. He showed his understanding of needing to be an interior threat. But for me, Team USA, you have to dominate these teams in the half court. And I thought Nigeria played patient basketball. So now, is that a concern for you, for Team USA, a team that has struggled for basketball in international last few go-arounds?
I mean, we could look at it like both ways. You know, is this a sign of things to come? As we start playing more seasoned and more cohesive teams as we get into Tokyo in a couple of weeks, or is this a something that's gonna galvanize them and let them know, hey, we're gonna have to cross our T's and dot our I's and do everything thoroughly, because there's a lot of talent out here besides the US. And if we don't do what we're supposed to do, we won't even get out of our round. I mean, we're thinking about France. We're thinking about playing France right now. You can't beat Nigeria.
Yeah.
So and we already know about how France is, and Slovenia and Serbia and all these other teams. Man, it's got to be something to galvanize and let Greg Popovich and them know, hey, we just can't show up. These teams are not intimidated by U.S. basketball no more. They feel like, hey, we play y'all in the NBA. Y'all another team to us too. So, man, hopefully they galvanize them. So, I'm hoping it's not a sign of things to come, and hopefully Greg Popovich can look at this game and try to see how you get these rotations right. As far as bigs, because you saw, Bam Adebayo is going to be an interior force. Like I said last week, he starts facing some of these better big men in the world, like the Goberts and the Sabonis and Jokic's of the world. You're going to need more than just one body, and that's when I get a little worried and skeptical about him, when I know that Draymond Green and Kevin Love are those other bodies. It's going to be asking a lot for those guys. So they're like 6'8", 6'7". And we're going to be seeing some legit 7-footers,
Yeah, and I also think, so what's some of the things about this Team USA roster that you think needs to be improved upon? You mentioned Bam Adebayo, and I thought throughout the game he did show his standing of the interior force. But also, man, I saw Zach LaVine kind of get his foot in. There's a lot of guys who are just trying to run the play together. So moving forward, I mean, you got two pretty good games coming up, Australia and Argentina. What's next? What's next on the Team USA? Let's get it together in the chemistry department. What do you think they need?
I mean, like you said, finding the closer. Like you say, who's gonna close this team? Who's gonna lead on this team? You got everybody on this team that's used to being the closer role. You got Bradley Beal, capable of being the closer. You got Jason Tatum. You got 4 closers in the starting lineup. So somebody's gonna have to give a little bit in order for the well of the team. You got to find out who's gonna be the hot hand and have match up and try to milk it the best way you can. Everybody can't do it at one time. It's only one basketball, so they're definitely gonna have to figure that part out.
I think it's Kevin Durant.
I mean,
9 with like 2 minutes. It immediately looked like pretty much everything Scottie Pippen said about Kevin Durant.
Right.
They giving the ball to Durant. They start giving the ball to Durant.
Giving the ball with about 14 to 15 on the shot clock and let him play one-on-one.
Right. That's everything Scottie Pippen said.
Everybody else is cutting. Everybody else is pulling out their camera phone. We watching Kevin. 10 on the shot clock, 9 on the shot clock, 8 on the shot clock. So a little bit more, I guess, some more fluidity to the offense where they just want to be standing and watching. There's too many talented people on that team to just stand and watch.
Yeah. Also, Damian, but I will say this, man, he brought his shooting. He brought shooting ability, man. I saw him shooting the 30-foot. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about him. They just got to gel. They just need time together. You got to remember, like you said, some of these guys are playoffs, and then on top of that, 3 of the guys that are going to be on the team playing in the finals, and Jrue Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Devin Booker. So I think. And then also get their full reinforcements. I think it's a turnaround for Team USA. But giving up 23s to Nigeria, 23s to any team, that's a bad international play with the smaller court dimensions.
Yeah. Ask Milwaukee, they did it in game 2. The NBA game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't give up 23. So most of the time, it's going to be a recipe for disaster unless you're going to make about 20 yourself or close to 20 and do every other thing right as far as rebounding and turnover.
You know, Joe, I'm glad you came through the World Class Hoops podcast. One thing I cherish about you're a little bit older than me, so you can give me like a perspective on some things like I kind of know about, but I wasn't for it. And since we talking Olympic basketball, let's get this out the way now, man. Let's get this out the way now. I probably shouldn't about the Dream Team, especially considering we're talking about the men's team losing the exhibition. But let's just get this out the way before the Olympics. Deep perspective. What was it like, man, being around in 1992 when the Dream Team I was only one, so I don't really have many memories. So, what was it like, man, when the Dream Team was going around in 1992?
Man. It was like the Avengers. I mean, I think that's the best NBA. It was like having all the Avengers. You know, Mike. You had people, so many people on that team that's identified by one name. You know, we had Mike, we had Magic, we had Bird, we had Mailman, you know,
Pippen.
You had the Admiral, you know what I'm saying? So many one-name people. You know, Chris Mullin on that team, so underrated, you know what I'm saying? You know,
I'm so glad you said that. I was hoping you was about Chris Mullin because people don't be knowing about Chris Mullin, man. They don't be knowing about Chris Mullin.
Man, we had some, we talking about the monster stars for real. When this was a reason for the world to be scared of that team. Because one thing, they weren't losing. They weren't going to be taking that stuff lightly. You know what I'm saying? They had their one galvanizing moment, too, with the U.S. select team back then. That's all they needed. And it was over with. You know what I'm saying? That was over with. You saw in the last dance. And all these players, they had a competitive fire. You know, you want Magic. Magic is, man, he just as much, he competitive just like Mike. He competitive just like Bird. He competitive just like Barkley, you know, Malone. And the thing about it, he wasn't underestimating and taking none of these teams lightly. You know what I'm saying? That's why they was beating the hell out of them. You know, that's why they was winning about 40 and 50 points, because they wasn't underestimating nobody.
I tried to watch that game against Angola, man, and it gets boring pretty quick. Like, it's like 49-9 or something like that.
Not letting up.
Pretty quick. Yeah. Like, they didn't and that was the first game. They didn't, man.
They felt like the best way to stop one of these teams from coming back and having that one shining moment in their history, beat the hell out of them, bury them.
Beat them early.
And that's what they would do. And then you got to think about the starting five. I don't even know if it could have. I would have to probably go Google and see what the starting five was. You got to think Mike and
Jordan.
Bird and Magic, maybe Scotty and David Robinson. And you could bring in Pat Ewing.
Right, then you got Ewing.
Bring Malone. I mean, this team was just huge.
I believe Ewing started though. I'm almost certain Ewing was a starter.
Man, it's just a huge team in the front line. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm talking about.
No, seriously. Like, yes, I understand. You know who you didn't even mention? We didn't even mention John Stockton. And John Stockton is like one of the. Yeah. Oh, you did? Okay, well, John Stockton, Chris Leitner, you know.
You know, Leitner was just there.
Like he was there, man. He was great for that time.
Yeah, he was the one, I guess, the college player that they wanted to bring. He was okay, but it was really about the other 11 Avengers, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, the elephant in the room with that team is always going to be about Isaiah Thomas's non-involvement in it, that last spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Stockton, Isaiah. You know, I don't know how much the emergence of the Bulls dynasty coinciding with that team had, how much they had to do with it, but yeah.
You know what else?
Man, domination.
You know what? Another elephant in the room. Shaq, Christian Leitner. Because remember, it was down to those two for the college player. And I remember Christian later in his he was like he didn't think Shaq could play the team because his ego, like his ego to take that back seat. Tell me your thoughts on that. Back in Christian Laettner, the getting that last spot. What are some of your thoughts on that situation?
As dominant as Shaq was, I don't know how much time. Also being like you want to say the rookie, you know what I'm saying, on this team, and a team full of established, these guys going to Hall. Clyde Drexler's on this team. You just start thinking some people that's on the team that I ain't mentioned.
Right. You're trying to like, who am I forgetting? Because I'm doing that too. Like, who am I?
You got a Scotty Pippen. I don't know how much time Shaq. I don't know if he would have really benefited from being on this team, because he probably would have contributed about as much as Christian Laettner. I mean, where do you find the spot for Shaquille O'Neal on this team behind or time for him behind David Robinson and Pat Ewing at the heights of their primes of their career? Shaq might have got about 8 to 10 minutes a game or whatever, and also even when they downsized,
that's what Laettner said.
Bringing the mailman. So,
and that's kind of what Christian Laettner said was one, like he would have to take that role of only playing more games and probably getting spot duty. So that was something Christian Laettner talked about. But in hindsight, man, the Dream Team, man, still the greatest collection in USA history. What's your thoughts on that?
Yes. Oh, easy.
Okay. Easily. Okay.
Easily. It's not even a question.
LeBron and Kobe team.
They were good. They were great. This team right here, listen. This team right here established the dominance that, hey, we need to start sending our best players over here and stop letting these foreign people wear us out. This is the team. We said, hey, we sending the Monstars. We sending our very, 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 very best. And they all want to go. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is a team that you can match up is one of the greatest assemblies of basketball dominance in anything. If you want to just talk about one single team, one single Bulls team, one single Warriors team, one All-Star team, this team right here, size, basketball, shooting, IQs, everything. Wow. That's the only thing that a team like the Carmelo and LeBron team might can say. And I don't even know if they can say that very much as far as maybe about the 3-point marksmanship thing. Because now we got more shooters now. We talk about Larry Bird. You're not leaving Larry Bird and Chris Mullin open on them wings. No, you're not leaving them open on them wings. And John Stockton every now and then or whatever on them wings. And Magic and Mike can just hit tiny threes, but they also can get anywhere court. So, man, just a terrific team. Terrific collection.
You see why I say this? I know you love the nostalgic stuff. So I'll try to like set you up nostalgic club when I bring you on here, man. You guys give me something good too, man. So, I think for sliding through, man. That's my big dog, man. That's Joseph Gregory and Dr. Gregory, which you can catch every Thursday. Available on Twitter at SOTG Chicago, Facebook at Students of the Game Chicago. Go I'll put your social media up, man. Go ahead and leave us with some lasting messages. What's some lasting messages? Get out of here, man.
Some last what?
Some lasting messages, ball messages you got before we get just anything you want to say real quick. I don't know. Something.
Really interesting seeing what happened in game 4 with Phoenix getting this extra day of rest. Also trying to see how Team USA rebounds off this loss. See what they do with Australia and the Argentina they have coming up.
Australia tonight, Argentina tomorrow.
So those are still gonna be some tough games. And man, how many more jobs do we have left available? After this Orlando, after Mosley got that job, how many more coaching jobs?
I'm glad actually because New Orleans is pretty much settled that it's probably Willie Green from Phoenix, but they can't until after the finals. So Washington right now.
I thought this was gonna be the year I saw a lady coach, and now the jobs are going. So we're gonna see how that goes. So yeah.
Hey, Becky Hammond could land there. It could be Becky Hammond in Washington. There's a lot of people for that job. Right. Becky Hammond, Wes Unseld, Sam Cassell. You never know, man. Also, that Willie Green has not been from New Orleans, but that's the wide belief. I've seen that in like that Willie Green is widely believed the Pelicans coach in the finals. So
Okay.
all but confirmed, pretty much.
Okay.
So for one, he's from Gregory. I'm Chris Rouse, man. This has been another presentation of the World Class Hoops Pod. A positive man. Shout out to you once again. Happy belated birthday. And positive
Thank you.
everybody. Yeah, man. Positive energy to everybody. Until tomorrow, man, I'll be back with a brand new episode of the World Class Hoops Podcast. Until then, man, y'all be safe. Positive energy to you all, and we up out of here, man. Y'all have a good one. Salute to Joe. Salute.